Imagine thinking you would need $1 million to retire in America, only to find 10 states where a comfortable life could cost you half that. In 2025, places like Nevada, Ohio, and Iowa are flipping the retirement script with perks like zero state income tax, bargain healthcare, and homes half the national price. But there is a catch: sky-high summer utility bills in the desert, gray winters that never end, and cornfields for neighbors instead of city lights. This is 10 unexpected states where you can retire on a budget in 2025. A countdown that proves every big savings hides a quiet compromise. Ready to see how far you would go to stretch your nest egg? Here is where the trade-offs get real. Number 10. Nevada, the flashy gambler, where retirement dreams come dressed in neon and every dollar you save on taxes might just melt away in the heat. In 2025, Nevada's zero state income tax is the headline grabber. No tax on your Social Security, no tax on pension withdrawals, nothing. Property taxes are gentle too, averaging just 0.50%. That's about $1,884 a year on a $375,000 home, less than half the bill in many coastal states. But here's the catch: summer in the Silver State doesn't mess around. Las Vegas routinely pushes past 110 degrees in July. Air conditioners run non-stop, and so do the power meters. The average July electricity bill for a single-family home in Vegas just hit $242, up nearly $100 from spring. For larger homes or anyone who needs to keep medical equipment running, summer bills can spike to $300 or more. That's a 40% jump above the national average during peak months, with costs rising even faster for retirees who can't cut back on cooling. NV Energy's quarterly rate hikes and that $2.5 billion Greenlink project keep nudging bills higher. Southern Nevada customers now pay $844 more per year than they did just 3 years ago. So, while you're pocketing those tax savings, expect to hand a chunk right back to the utility company every summer. Nevada's the place where you can retire tax-free, but your comfort comes at the price of a relentless AC hum and utility bills that don't blink. For some, the trade-off is worth the sunshine and the slot machines. For others, the heat is more gamble than they bargained for. If you're ready to face the desert's double-or-nothing energy bills, Nevada rolls out the red carpet. Just don't forget to budget for the power surge. Number 9. Ohio, the sensible workhorse. Where the skies are gray, the neighborhoods are steady, and the numbers actually make sense. In 2025, the median home price sits around $205,000, less than half of what you would pay in most coastal cities. Retirees here face a state income tax, but the brackets are gentle, anywhere from 0 to just under 4% for most types of retirement income. Social Security is not taxed, and the math works out for most budgets. Cleveland, once the punchline for weather jokes and factory smoke, now anchors the state's credibility with the Cleveland Clinic. Ranked among the top hospitals in the world, it draws patients from across the globe. And it is right in your backyard if you settle anywhere in northern Ohio. That is not just a feather in the cap. It is a lifeline for anyone thinking long-term health. Ohio does not try to dazzle with palm trees or mountain views. What you get is a solid infrastructure, decent public transit in the cities, and a cost of living that will not make your savings evaporate. Groceries, gas, and utilities all hover just below the national average. The trade-off? About 190 cloudy days a year in Cleveland. That is more overcast than Seattle, but it is also a built-in excuse to skip yard work and catch a Guardians game instead. Healthcare is everywhere, big city or small town. And with the Cleveland Clinic setting the standard, even the regional hospitals keep up. For retirees who want practicality over flash, Ohio delivers affordable homes, manageable taxes, and some of the best doctors in the country. The weather might be moody, but the numbers stay steady year after year. If you are looking for a place where your budget goes the distance and your health needs are covered, Ohio is the workhorse that keeps on running. And if you are enjoying these deep dives, do not forget to subscribe for more no-nonsense retirement truths. Number 8. Iowa. The quiet neighbor. Cornfields as far as the eye can see, small towns with names you cannot pronounce, and, if you listen closely, a healthcare system that quietly outperforms much of the country. In 2025, Iowa's secret weapon is not just affordable living. It is medical costs that stay stubbornly low, even as prices spike everywhere else. According to KFF, the average Medicare recipient in Iowa pays less out of pocket than in almost any other state. Hospital ratings hover around 3.8 out of 5, and the Retiree Health Index puts Iowa in the national top 5. Here is what that means for your wallet. Routine checkups, lab work, even hospital stays cost less in Iowa than in most places east or west. While some states trade on mountain views or ocean sunsets, Iowa's selling point is simpler. You can actually afford to get sick here. That is not a bad deal when you are planning for 20 or 30 years on a fixed income. The average retiree in Iowa spends less than $6,000 a year on health care, with premiums and out-of-pocket costs combined. That is hundreds less than the national average, money that stays in your pocket for road trips, hobbies, or, yes, more sweet corn than any human should probably eat. Ames and Cedar Rapids are not topping anyone's bucket list, but they are dotted with clinics, pharmacies, and hospitals that do not require a cross-country trek. Even in rural counties, you will find health centers within a short drive. No helicopter rescue required. And while the scenery may be more amber waves of grain than mountain majesty, the real view is a budget that stretches further than you would expect. So if you are less about oceanfront condos and more about peace of mind, and do not mind the occasional cornfield joke, Iowa's healthcare bargain might be the retirement ace up your sleeve. Stick around, because the next stop takes the health theme in a whole new direction. Number 7. Maine. The Healthy Hermit. If you are looking for a place where you can actually get in to see a doctor without driving 3 hours or waiting 3 months, Maine quietly delivers. For every 100,000 people over 65, Maine has 99.5 primary care physicians. That is 30% higher than the national average and the best ratio in rural America. In 2025, hospitals here are not just holding on, they are woven into the small-town fabric. From Portland's main medical center to the coastal clinics in Rockland and Bar Harbor, access to care is a given, not a gamble. Retirees in Maine spend about $7,800 a year on health care. Just a tick above the Midwest, but what you get in return is peace of mind. The state's hospital-to-population ratio means you are rarely more than 15 miles from a facility, even in the remote stretches north of Bangor. For those who want certainty in their later years, that is worth more than bargain basement housing or flashy tax breaks. And unlike some states, Maine does not tax your Social Security income, so more of your check goes toward wellness, not the state coffers. Of course, there is a catch. Winter in Maine is not for the faint of heart or the thin of blood. January lows in Caribou sink to 1 degree Fahrenheit, and snow removal is a competitive sport. But for retirees who put health at the top of the list, Maine's infrastructure is hard to beat. The trade-off? You get world-class care, but you will need a good pair of boots and a sense of humor about the weather. For those who want to age in place with real medical backup, Maine is the healthy hermit's dream. Just do not forget to budget for snow tires and maybe a backup generator. Number 6. South Carolina. The Social Security Shield. Here's where the tax game gets interesting. South Carolina doesn't just leave your Social Security alone. It lets you keep it all, untaxed, no matter how big or small your check. And for everything else, pensions, individual retirement accounts, 401k plans, there's a $15,000 deduction waiting for you once you hit 65. That's not a typo. 15 grand straight off the top of your retirement income every single year. Married and both over 65? Double it. Suddenly, even a healthy pension looks a lot less intimidating come tax time. The cost of living sits about 11% below the national average, so your dollar stretches further whether you're buying groceries in Greenville or catching a show in Charleston. And for homeowners, there's a statewide homestead exemption that knocks $50,000 off your property's taxable value once you're 65. That's more money left for shrimp and grits, less for the county assessor. But before you start picturing endless golf rounds and low-tax bliss, there's a catch, and it's not just the humidity. South Carolina's coastline gets a front-row seat to hurricane season every year, and insurance companies know it. Standard homeowners' policies cover wind damage, but not flooding. So you'll need a separate flood policy if you're anywhere near the coast. Deductibles for hurricane damage can run as high as 5% of your home's insured value. That means a $300,000 house could stick you with a $15,000 bill before insurance even kicks in. The state does try to help. Catastrophe savings accounts let you set aside money, tax-free, for hurricane deductibles and repairs. Interest earned in these accounts isn't taxed by the state either. It's a clever move, but it doesn't make the storms any less real. In South Carolina, the tax math works out. Just make sure your insurance math does too. For retirees who want to keep more of their income and don't mind prepping for the occasional tropical visitor, the Palmetto State might be the smartest chess move on the board. If you're learning something new, hit subscribe for more retirement truths that don't pull any punches. Number 5. New Hampshire, the perfect student. It aces every retirement ranking, top scores in safety, healthcare, and taxes. Social Security stays untouched, and as of January 1st, 2025, even the last 3% tax on dividends and interest is gone. No state income tax, no sales tax, and a reputation for community support, that's the envy of New England. But here's the punchline. All that perfection comes with a property tax bill that could make a Wall Street banker blink. The average New Hampshire homeowner shells out $6,097 a year, more than twice the national average. For retirees in Concord, that means writing a check for $500 every single month, just to keep the lights on and the roads plowed. The state's answer? You get what you pay for. Good schools, safe towns, and services that actually work. But for anyone on a fixed income, that tax bill isn't a pop quiz. It's the final exam. Number 4. Delaware, the tax-free trickster. No sales tax since 1969, so every trip to the store feels like a tiny victory. Retirees here skip the checkout tax, pocketing real savings on everything from groceries to a new car. Property taxes are a breeze too. The average annual bill hovers below $1,500, and there's no tax on Social Security benefits. For anyone who likes to shop, Delaware's a magnet. Just ask the out-of-staters pouring across the border for big-ticket buys. The cross-border shopping craze is real. In 2024, retail sales to non-residents topped $2.8 billion, with parking lots at Christiana Mall packed with Maryland and Pennsylvania plates. The state's small size means you're never far from the action. Whether that's a farmer's market in Newark or a tax-free outlet hall in Rehoboth Beach. Here's the twist. While New Hampshire hands you a perfect report card but hits your wallet with property taxes, Delaware lets you shop tax-free and keeps property taxes in check. It's a tale of two tax plays. One rewards disciplined savers, the other tempts spenders. Both offer real retirement value, but the fine print matters. In New Hampshire, the bill lands in your mailbox every year, no matter how frugal you are. In Delaware, the savings pile up with every swipe of the card. For retirees weighing the hidden costs, these two states prove that tax freedom comes in more than one flavor. Just be ready for the check at the end of the meal. If you want to keep more of your cash, hit subscribe for the next round of retirement surprises. Number 3. Wyoming, the rugged individualist. No state income tax. None since the 1889 Constitution. Every dime from Social Security, pensions, and 401k plans stays in your pocket. Property taxes? Among the lowest in the country, averaging just 0.5%. That's about $1,450 a year on a $250,000 house. Try finding that in most of the country. But here's the reality check. January mornings start at 10 degrees, and that's if you're lucky. Winter in Wyoming isn't just a season, it's a personality test. Your nearest neighbor might be 2 miles away, and the closest hospital could be an hour's drive, especially if the snowplow hasn't come through. Grocery runs are a commitment, not a quick errand. Distance to services isn't just a number here, it's a way of life. That's the price for pure tax freedom and wide-open spaces. If you're the type who finds peace in silence and doesn't mind shoveling your way to the mailbox, Wyoming delivers on the budget promise. But if you want to borrow a cup of sugar or a defibrillator from next door, you'd better hope your neighbor owns a snowmobile. For those who crave frontier independence and don't flinch at a little frostbite, Wyoming is as budget-friendly as it gets. Just keep the thermals handy and the car gassed up all winter long. Number 2. West Virginia, the mountain dreamer, where the Appalachian ridges roll on forever, and the cost of retirement comes in lower than anywhere east of the Mississippi. In 2025, West Virginia sets the national low bar. A comfortable retirement here takes about $713,000 in savings, according to the latest studies. That's less than half what you'd need in most coastal states, and nearly $1.4 million less than Hawaii. The math is simple. Housing is cheap, groceries are reasonable, and the pace is slow enough to stretch every dollar. More than 1 in 5 residents is over 65, so you're in good company if you're looking for a place to age in peace. But there's a catch, and it's bigger than just winter snow. Healthcare in West Virginia is starting to buckle under the weight of an aging population and shrinking resources. When Bluefield Regional Medical Center closed its doors in July 2020, 340 jobs gone overnight. It left a hole in the region's safety net that hasn't healed. That's not a one-off. Since then, hospital closures and service cuts have become part of the landscape. For many, the nearest ER is now a 30-minute drive, sometimes more if the mountain roads ice over. The state is packed with natural beauty and neighborly spirit. But if you need specialized care, you might find yourself on the road to Charleston, or even across state lines. West Virginia offers the mountain dream on a dime, but the view comes with a reminder: budget for the basics and plan ahead for the bumps in the road. Number 1. Mississippi, the unbeatable bargain. In 2025, no state lets your retirement dollars stretch further. On paper, the average retiree can cover 15 years for just $470,000 in total savings, the lowest figure anywhere in the country. That's less than half of what you'd need in most coastal states and nearly $2 million less than Hawaii. All retirement income, untaxed. Social Security, IRA withdrawals, private pensions, every penny stays in your pocket. Median home prices hover around $151,000, and property taxes average just $1,145 a year. Even groceries and gas undercut national averages by double digits. But here's the cold reality. Mississippi ranks dead last for health outcomes, 50th out of 50. Hospitals are sparse, chronic disease rates top the charts, and every county is considered medically underserved. For retirees in good health, the math is almost impossible to beat. For anyone with ongoing medical needs, the state's bargain basement prices come with a warning label. Mississippi is the cheapest place to retire in America, because comfort here is strictly a financial calculation. The savings are real, but so is the trade-off. Would you stake your golden years on the bottom line alone? In 2025, the cost to retire comfortably ranges from $470,000 in Mississippi to $713,000 in West Virginia, according to recent studies. Our investigation revealed that every state on this list offers a distinct trade-off: tax breaks in Wyoming and Nevada, healthcare strength in Maine and Iowa, or low property taxes in Delaware. Yet even the best bargains come with catches. From high summer utility bills in Nevada to hospital closures in West Virginia, and bottom-ranked health outcomes in Mississippi. While property taxes in New Hampshire average $6,100 per year, Delaware stands out with no sales tax since 1969. What remains unclear how ongoing changes in healthcare access and climate risks will shape these rankings in future years. For now, the evidence shows there is no perfect state, just different equations of cost, care, and compromise. The documents and data are clear. Retiring on a budget in America is possible, but every choice demands careful calculation.